So Notre Dame and Georgia in the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. Are you coming to New Orleans on Christmas Eve,
New Year's Eve. I
New Year's Eve?
thought about it, but the prices for these tickets are like $1,000 also this round as well. So I don't know if I really want to do that to make it hard for us to record and shit.
It's New Year's Eve in New Orleans. You can go to Bourbon Street. You can come see your boy.
Yeah, but like we're not going to be able to record. I'm going to end up getting lost in the sauce, man.
You'll get lost in the sauce in New Orleans. I promise.
Yeah, exactly.
But Notre Dame and Georgia, Joe, how do you see this one panning out?
Just like what we talked about here at the Rose Bowl, this is going to be, I think, a really close, hard-fought battle. This Georgia team has been the most tested amongst every single team in the playoff remaining. And that is going to help them in a close game against Notre Dame find a way to pull out the win. But here's my thing, though. I think if there is a year that Notre Dame gets a victory over an SEC team in a playoff setting like this, I think it could be this year. I talked about this after the Notre Dame victory against Indiana. One of the things that I brought up that was accentuated for me for the strengths for Notre Dame. They need to keep this low scoring, and there is a high path for success for them on defense. They play really tight, close coverage in man-to-man situations against a receiving core that is prone to dropping passes. They are going up against an offensive line that has struggled with run blocking, with a run defense that is really stout, led by Riley Mills and Howard Cross. And they're able to generate pretty consistent pressures against the teams that they faced, going up against a quarterback that has not faced meaningful situations. Gunnar Stockton, at the end of the day, Blake, is the biggest wild card in all this. Because if Gunnar Stockton goes out there and plays like an inexperienced quarterback, Notre Dame can win this football game. This could be a stupidly low scoring, like 17-10 or something like that. That's what they need. But Gunnar Stockton, though, could go out there like he did in the second half against Texas and play out of his mind and look like Stetson Bennett, the next coming of him, and lead them to a victory. And Notre Dame doesn't have the tape on him to know how to handle him. So there's a lot that can come into play here, but I have to stick with my Fighting Irish, being a Notre Dame fan, and find a way to support them. Find a way to support them. This feels like it's an opportunity that they can get this win. I will ride into the ground with my guys, okay? You can't fault me for doing that.
You're such a coward.
Why does it make me a coward? If anything, if I was a coward, I'd pick Georgia. I'm willing to go toe-to-toe. I don't give a shit.
Okay. Calm down a little bit. Calm down.
Call me a coward, man. I gotta.
So here's the thing that I'd say, Joe. Gunnar Stockton was able to scored 20 points against Texas in a second half. How much better is Notre Dame than Texas defensively in the front seven?
Well, okay, it's very hard to prepare for a new quarterback that you've never seen before. It's we've talked about on the show.
No, I don't disagree with that. What I'm saying is they got better with him.
Yes.
And you don't know what to expect. Here's what you should expect. He gonna run on you. He gonna run on you, and you better get him down because he will lower his pad level and run you flat over. We saw him doing that against Anthony Hill is one of the most dangerous linebackers in the game of college football today. Literally on the sidelines, my man's putting his pads down and running through his chest. Like
that's why he's that's why he can be a catalyst for that reason.
He can be a catalyst. So, in reference to this game, here's what I'd say. You're right. You don't know what you're getting from Gunnar Stockton. What do they do? Are they different? You have a half to go off of it. Which either thing can happen here. Anything can happen where you're right. He can come out here and lay an egg, or he can come out here and play like he did. But, Joe, I got to be real with you. It's not as if that he came into a low-leverage situation. He came into a very high-level situation. Losing, get out of the playoff, win and get a first-round bye. Like, kid played fun. Joe, he was on pace to score 40 points himself. We're looking at a defense that they ran the ball on because of his factor. They have not been able to run the ball all year, not effectively. He comes in the game, they start running the football. So the argument that we made about Ohio State losing to Michigan could also be the same kind of counter logic that you use against Georgia. Now everybody's really locked in and focused to, hey man, we gotta step all of our game up because now we have a quarterback that's going into his first start in the playoffs because our starting quarterback got hurt. But here's what I do know. They're better offensively with him. because it's their style and identity. When they're running the football and he's running quarterback lead, and then you can go 12 personnel, then you run play action out of it. It's what Georgia does, man. Mm-hmm. It's what they did in both national title runs. But here's the thing for me that I want to make a very big emphasis on about going into this game. Georgia will contain your running game. It's going to happen. Are you going to be able to throw the ball on third down? This is your real test. You have not been, and this is the truth, Notre Dame has not been tested like this all year.
Obviously.
Not even remotely close.
I'm not going to debate that.
So you better be able to convert on third down. You better be able to throw the ball on third down. And I'm going to promise you this, as God is my witness, because Kirby is this cocky. He is going to go man-to-man coverage, and he's going to walk dudes down and say, listen, we may lose this game. Jeremiyah Love, you're not winning it for him. That is Kirby's philosophy. Look at every good running back he's gone against. Every single one of them. Joe, in both Alabama games, what did he do? He's walking safeties down the box. Jalen, you're going to have to throw it on us. You're going to have to throw it to win. Milroe makes the long throw to Ryan Williams to be able to win the football game. He's not going to allow you to be able to run the football. That is Georgia football. So, Joe, if Notre Dame wins, it's going to come off the arm of Riley Leonard because there's going to be critical third downs that he's got to convert.
That is a really good point here. And that's where, as a Notre Dame fan, where I have the most fear, because everything I just talked about there is Notre Dame or with Georgia. And if Notre Dame were to make this a really low scoring game, the SEC championship game was pretty low scoring. And the way that they were able to create a low scoring game was by saying to Quinn Ewers, throw the ball as many times as you want. You're not going to get any relief from Trey Wisner. And they didn't generate any rushing yards. You look at the statistics, they couldn't move the ball in the ground. And it's not like that they had to just constantly throw the ball to get back into the game. It was close the entire game. So for that,
he just had 31 rushing yards.
Right. It was abysmal. I think, and I would have faith that Notre Dame would be able to generate a spark play here or there from Jeremiah Smith or from Jadarian Price, because they have a better offensive line than what Texas currently is dealing with. And they also have better running backs than what Texas has. And that has always been a negative that we've talked about.
But they don't have a better quarterback that can throw on crucial third downs.
Riley Leonard, and I 100% agree with you. That is it is so cliche and easy to say this game is one off of the play of the quarterbacks, but that's 100% true, because Gunnar Stockton, does he step up to the plate, is totally applicable for this discussion. And then the inverse is talking about here, does Riley Leonard look like the way that he did on third down against Indiana, against a much better secondary and much better defensive linemen that are going to be bearing down on him? If he gets a little bit risky, Malaki Starks is picking him off. He is the most gifted safety in all of college football and is going to be a top 10 NFL draft pick.
Combo, but okay.
They need, to your point, they need Riley Leonard to play his best game. This can't be a game where you've got mistakes and expect to win.
Well, here's my thing. You're basically, what you're trying to tell me is that Notre Dame's going to go down to New Orleans and out physical Georgia. That's what you're trying to tell me.
Well, okay, but I mean, is it batshit crazy to say that philosophy, it's not like that hasn't worked and that couldn't work?
It happened in a rivalry game, and they won and beat Georgia Tech. And meanwhile, I see Ohio State having that same exact issue against Michigan, and it worked for Michigan. And then I see Ohio State explode yesterday. Brother, here's a wild take. Kirby got y'all right where he wants them, right where he wants you. He got you right where he wants you. A backup quarterback coming into the playoff run. Good luck, bud. Look, I've seen this story. Hey, I've literally seen this story before.
I'm going to get put on a poster for saying this.
Oh, you're going to.
I really do think that Notre Dame they're not all the way where that Michigan national championship team was last year. That team was very experienced compared to this current Notre Dame team. But
don't do this.
Look, all I'm just saying, though, that there are similarities. You're built along your lines of scrimmage, and you've got really good defensive tackles, and you've got talented safeties that have produced turnovers, and two really good running backs. I'm not saying that Notre Dame is that Michigan team, but that Michigan team was able to get as far as they did by being physical against Alabama. Who says Notre Dame can't win by doing that?
And what did J.J. McCarthy do to win the football game?
You're right. He expanded the pocket and he made some plays on the run and he made some throws in important situations.
Okay. He's going to have to do it or you're going home. You're going home. I'm no way.
No, they're going to dare him to beat him. I know. Literally, we saw them do that against Quinn Ewers. They're going to do it.
Literally. And look, that's the second time that they faced off against a team. We'll see.
BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.